All right, here we go. Bugs Bunny, good to go. Hey guys, welcome to the video. My name is Ryan Styles Harris, and in this video today, we are going over the round number 2 of the JCONCEPTS SUPERCUP series, spring session 2018. It took us to Newberry Raceway up in Newberry, Florida. It's an outdoor clay track, and it was an awesome weekend of good old-fashioned dirt racing.
Just let me know so I won't hurt you.
So what I think I liked the most about this event was, as you could tell in those last few clips, the track had a lot of cool elevation changes. It had a really fun flow to it, and once you kind of got the hang of it, it was actually a lot of fun, despite the challenging level of grip. I talked to the track owner and they did a fantastic job getting this track ready. They were a little bit bummed out because the clay that they put down fresh for this race was the same stuff that they used last year, and there was plenty of grip. But then this time around, something about the clay was just a little bit different. It got rained on earlier in the week, and it just made it a little bit lower grip than what they were expecting. But everyone was dealing with the same thing, so everybody had the same thing that they were trying to figure out. No one really had an advantage. Okay, so this weekend was doubly busy because I ran 3 classes instead of 2. I ran the 2-wheel drive expert stock buggy class, the 13.5 4-wheel drive class, and I ran the new 13.5 stadium truck class. That was a lot of fun. Shout out to Donnie Martin, local guy down here, good friends with him. He let me borrow his truck just for this event because I wanted to try it out, see if I like it. I think that silver truck may end up staying here permanently. We'll just have to wait and see. So throughout the whole weekend, it was a battle of figuring out what tire you were going to commit to come main time, and just overall driving ability. Because of the lower grip, you kind of had to learn how to keep momentum and carry speed through corners and just letting the car kind of float the rear end a little bit and just give it some good old-fashioned dirt track racing. You guys know me, I'm a longtime Florida native. I love the outdoor loamy stuff. I love those cars getting nice and dirty in the morning, and then it grooves up in the middle of the day. Sometimes it gets a little slick in the evening. It brings out the best or the worst in your driving ability. There's nothing better in my opinion. Philip, hello. So, jumping into the weekend, 2-wheel drive buggy was just, I wanted to throw that thing in a garbage can. I think it's one of the most challenging vehicles to drive, especially in low grip situations. And I just didn't get it figured out, didn't feel comfortable with it, and I ended up just not doing so well. I'm not gonna do a whole lot of showing you some racing footage from that because it just wasn't that great, honestly. Had 2 bad rounds of qualifying. I ended up being in the B main, going into the mains. I did win that event. It wasn't really exciting. It kind of just took the lead from the start of the race and then ended up finishing in the same position, largely uncontested. Went into the main, got a pretty good start. I think I jumped up somewhere near 4th or 5th, and then I just made a few driving errors and ended up settling with a battle with Kenny Setzer, another local guy. What up, Kenny? And we just had a good time. He put a pretty aggressive move on me, but luckily nobody crashed and he ended up finishing just ahead of me. So it was a fun race, but I just wasn't happy with the car, the turnout of that, just the whole thing. Move on, hoping to do better in the next one. Okay, so what do we have next? 13.5 Stadium Truck class. Really fun class. I really hope that the Stadium Truck class as a whole makes a charge back into the mainstream because they're so easy to drive in my opinion. Even in loose conditions, because they're a little bit heavier, the tires are a little bit wider, they just work a little bit better. They aren't really picky when it comes to setup. You kind of just get it pretty close to how it comes out of the box and then just go drive it and have fun. So I'm looking forward. I'm gonna try and drive that for the rest of this Super Cup session just to support the class and hopefully advertise it a little bit more so that more people will come in and have some fun with us. So qualifying, literally in round 1 of qualifying was the first time I drove the truck ever. Never driven that truck before. Threw it down for round 1 of qualifying. The truck was fine. The tires were absolutely the wrong choice. I didn't have much of a tire selection because I was saving the stuff that I thought would work pretty good for the main. So I started off the day on black compound 3Ds and they just didn't work that great. So round 2 qualifying went a little bit better because I put the truck on some double Ds all the way around and it felt a lot better, had the grip, but I think I ended up making a bunch of mistakes and then I ended up qualifying 4th for the A main. We'll go ahead and jump into a clip here because I have the whole race here. Thank you to the one and only Rich Mueller, the media guy from JCONCEPTS. Really nice of him to record the race for me. So we'll go ahead and jump into that, watch a little bit of that, and we'll get back to move on to the next class.
Drivers, let's keep it clean on the tone in less than 5. All right, and we're off to a spin and start. Oh, Chris Vale's getting it all wrong off the start. Oh, looks like Rhodes getting it wrong. Oh, looks like Travis White getting stuck on the side of the double-double. So it looks like it's Alfredo to the number 1. Ryan Harris out of nowhere to the number 1. Owen Simmons in the 2. Alfredo in the 3. Danny White into the 4. Walter Cruz in the 5. Thomas in the 6. Travis White in the 7. Chris Fallon in the 7. Travis White in the 8. Greg Rose in the 9. And Justin Sherman rounding out the 10. So we got your leader, Ryan Harris. First time out here with a 13.5 truck showing the way. He's coming through the left-hand sweeper now. Trying to keep that truck planted. Trackson's a little slick tonight. All right, we're on 130 down, 330 left to go. Ryan Harris still showing the way with Owen Simmons in the number 2, followed closely by Danny White. Travis White making his way up to the number 4 now. Greg Rhodes in the 5, Chris Fell in the 6, Alfredo in the 7, Thomas in the 8, Walter in the 9, and Justin in the 10. Ooh, guys, when you pull out of the track, make sure it is safe before you pull onto the track. 1 minute left to go on the race clock, 1 minute left to go. You got Ryan Harris in the 1, Danny White into the 2, Owen Simmons in the 3, Thomas Sherman in the 4, Travis White in the 5. Sherman getting through lap traffic, nice and clean. Looks like he's coming up on the leader. He's trying to make it. Oh, he gets it wrong right here at the loop. He's going to get stuck. That's going to
You lay down, man.
Travis White done. Travis White, Team Wiley, and Walter up in the number 5. Walter Cruz in the 6.
Hey, Travis.
Danny White in the number 2.
Christopher Fail done. Alfredo Morales done. Owen Simmons done.
All right, so Ryan Harris, his first time out here at 13.5 truck, he's going to take the win. Good drive.
There you have it. Some fun little action in the 13.5 Stadium Truck class. Nice little win there. So hoping that I can keep having some fun in that class at the next 2 rounds and continue the success. All right, so 13.5 4-wheel drive class. It's a class that I have really thoroughly enjoyed since I started running it. The cars, no matter what the grip level is, it's four-wheel drive. You can just pin that thing, pull it out of what seems like you're about to spin out, and it just is going to correct itself because it's got all four wheels moving forward. It's just a really fun class. So this class though, I did do my best to try and dial in the car to do as good as it could in the low grip situations. So I wanted to real quickly go over a few of the things that I did to try and remedy that in hopes that it would be where I wanted it in the main event. First thing I did was made sure that my center diff, because I run the gear diff option because I have the MIP puck system in there, I was running 100K diff fluid. Sometimes I run 500 or 200 depending if I have a lot of grip out there, but since I had very little, I ran a much lighter weight diff in the center so that it would calm the car down and make it a little bit easier to drive. Moving into the suspension, the front end, I played around with sway bar versus no sway bar. In round 1 of qualifying, I had no sway bar, and then in round 2, I put it back on, and I ended up liking it. I thought I needed that extra bit of steering in it, but I didn't. So I kept it in there, yellow front springs, and that felt great, loved it. And then in the rear, I started off the weekend on some white rear springs, but I noticed that I just didn't get enough transfer of weight to the back of the car to get it to kind of settle in and move forward. So I remembered something that I saw a lot of the guys at INS do when they were trying to figure out how to get the rear end of the car settled down and planted to kind of get it moving forward and not fighting that squirreliness to the left and the right. They ran a black rear spring. I may be way off in my theory, but I ended up throwing that on the car and I really liked it. Every time I grabbed a handful of throttle, it just settled in the back and it just kind of moved forward. I didn't have it skating out to the side. I ran double Ds all day with closed cell inserts, and that felt great. Thanks to some of the JC guys, they said that running the closed cells from like some old dirt webs or something like that would get you right where you want them to feel. When you run the open cell inserts, the car tends to skate and wander around because the tire can kind of fold over on itself so much. Running the closed cell remedies that. You may sacrifice a tiny bit of traction going through the corner, but as soon as you come out and move down the straightaway, the closed cell was much better. So that was really it as far as setup and changes that I tweaked around with the car to get it to do what I wanted come main time when the track was going to slicken up a little bit because the sun went down and the temperature dropped, which meant that the track wasn't going to dry out anymore and get dusty. It was just going to hold its moisture and be a little bit slicker. Round 1 of qualifying, I don't totally recall what happened there. I think it was pretty bad. I remember making some big mistakes and I was barely sitting in the top 10. Round 2, did a lot better. I think I ended up qualifying 3rd or 4th overall for the round, and then that sat me at 4th place going into the main event. So I had my work cut out for me, had a lot of fast guys in front of me, but we felt really good about the setup going into the main, and I was just gonna give it everything that I got. Gonna try and pass everybody clean and just see what comes out on the other side. So we'll go ahead and watch that main event here, and I'll be back in just a second.
Keep on your toes, keep your heads on a swivel. Drivers, keep it clean, on the tone, in less than 5. Alright, and we're off. Alan White's going to lead us off, followed closely by Patrick Rossiter, Jake Sugarman, Ryan Harris, Ryan Castellan, Jada Lopez, Joshua Alfaro. Oh man, someone diving to the inside.
Damn. Go, Patrick.
Oh, we got some cars upside down in the double-double. Oh, looks like it's going to be Travis White.
Wow, really good.
So let's see who's going to lead us off. It'll be Patrick Rosser to the 1, Ryan Harris to the 2, Alfaro to the 3, Andre to the 4, Lopez to the 5, Chris Bale to the 6, Alan White falls all the way down to the 7, Ryan Castellan in the 8. Travis White in the 9, Jake Sugarman in the 10.
Man, I should have ran four-wheel drive.
Let's look for our leader, Patrick Rosser, who's crossing the stripe now, followed closely by Ryan Harris. Ryan Harris putting the power down without B64, trying to reel him in. Ryan Harris, he's clearly got it. It looks like Rossiter might have the horsepower. Harris might have the car that's a little more planted. This is going to be a driver's race. 1 and 2 going around the right-hand side. Ryan Harris all over the back of Patrick Rossiter. Ryan did the double-double nice and clean, gaining a little bit of ground on Rossiter. You can throw a towel over these guys. Through the left-hand side, over the sweeper they go. Rossiter in the techno. Ryan Harris diving to the inside with that B64, trying to put the power down. On the first stretch they go. You got Jada Lopez in the 3, Alfaro in the 4. Alan White up to the 5, Chris Bell in the 6, Travis White in the 7, Andre in the 8, Catlin in the 9, and Sugarman in the 10. Ryan trying to find a way around Baxter, trying to make that car 8 lanes wide. He's making it work. That Techno is dialed, but so is that B64. This is a driver's race. Down the front stretch they go. Ryan Harris, he's keeping that car nice and tight, trying to dive to the inside. Ross is trying to ride that thing like he's sliding around, but it looks like he's coming around towards the end of the race. He's got that double down. Do the double on the left-hand side, through the 180, and down the sweeper. He slides it around, and off they go. Ryan Harris trying to dive to the inside, gains up a little bit of ground. These guys are in and out and in, trying to make the pass.
This is a good race right here. Yeah.
Rossiter making that EB 410 about 10 feet wide. Meanwhile, he almost got it inside of Rossiter. Rossiter got a little flowy. Ryan has to check up. He's going to pitch it around like an E-buggy and save that speed. There goes Rossiter over the double on the left-hand side, hitting that sweeper. These guys are neck and neck. Ryan trying to grab the inside. Ryan to the inside. Rossiter in the back of Ryan. They work it out on their own. Ryan Harris to the race lead. Patrick Rossiter in the 2. You got Jada Lopez in the 3, Alfaro in the 4, Alan White in the 5. Travis White up to the number 6, Chris Bell in the 7, Thomas Andre in the 8, Ryan Castellan in the 9, and Sugarman in the 10. Let's go back to this battle up front. Ryan Harris into the 1. Travis Rossiter trying to dive in the inside. We barely snacks that pipe, slows it down a little bit. They get together. We can't see what happened. So it looks like Ryan Harris getting down the front stretch first. There goes Rossiter about 1.2 seconds back according to the race clock.
Easy, Patrick, easy.
Rossiter going to roll it over before the double-double. That's going to give Ryan Harris about 5.5 seconds to work with. Ryan getting through lap traffic. Looks like he's coming up on the back of Sugarman through the sweeper. Down the front stretch he goes. Sugarman lets him go by. Thank you, sir. Local sportsmanship.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm talking about Ryan nailed the setup.
That mistake's going to put Jader into the number 2 spot. Rossiter into the 3, Alan White into the 4, Alfaro into the 5, Travis White into the 6, Thomas Andre into the 7, Sugarman in the 8, Ryan Catlin in the 9, and Chris Failed into the 10. Let's see if we can find your leader, Ryan Harris, on the racetrack. Looks like he's coming down the front stretch now. Looks like, hold on a minute. That's Travis White. I almost thought that was Jader.
1 minute left.
So it looks like Ryan Harris is coming up on the lap traffic. Go white lighting. White lighting gives a good sport. Lets him go by. Thank you, sir. You got Jader in the number 2 now. Sugarman gets in the back of Jader. That's your number 2. That pink and white going through. That's going to allow Rossiter to make the pass. Rossiter now to the number 2.
So
you got Ryan Harris about 4.5 seconds ahead of Rossiter. They got lap traffic of Andre and Travis White in between them. That's actually Chris Bale.
Ryan's checked out.
Guys, that green car is battling for the number 2 and 3, guys. Let the green and pink go. Alright, that is clear. That is your 2 and 3. They have made the pass on lap traffic. They got open track in front of them. They're going to battle out for the 2 and 3 spot. Jader all over the back of Rossiter looking through a pass. Rossiter keeping it nice and clean. They're both holding that tire, sliding it around like an E-buggy. They're racing to the wire. Oh my God, that was race time. I didn't even realize the race was over yet.
Get him, Jader. Get it, Jader. Get it, son.
Patrick Rossiter done.
Jader trying to put all the power down. That was a race to the wire between the 1, 2, and 3. So Ryan Harris can take the win in 13.5 truck and 13.5 four-wheel drive.
Joshua and Alfaro.
Oh man, that was a good race. I always love it when it's a close, good race and we can just race clean and just kind of have the whole crowd into it and kind of respond to everything that was going on. Such a fun race, and it was really awesome that I got to pull out a win in that situation. So not only was it a great win, it was also great for the points going into the rest of the series. hoping that we can repeat that kind of success in round 3 and 4. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please like it. If you have any comments or have any questions, please feel free, drop them down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer all the questions you guys may have. And if you want to see more in the future, please subscribe. So that's going to be it for this one, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.